A poorly communicated answer is more important than beautiful communication without content.
You've probably already seen the video that I recorded showing how Albus Dumbledore is clearly the fourth most popular character in the Harry Potter movies. Now, this is a bar chart race. What I'm going to show you now is how you can create such a bar chart race, but without using code, using Gramex's PPTX handler. So first, let's start with the data. The data is from a data set titled Harry Potter characters screen time from data.world. And what this data set has, actually I've got a slightly simpler version of this data set, which only takes the top 5 characters in each movie. So in the data set, we have the following columns. The first is the name of the movie. So that there are a total of 8 Harry Potter movies. The 7th book was made into 2 movies. That's the Deathly Hallows. And against each movie, we have the name of the characters, specifically the top 5 characters. So in the Sorcerer's Stone, apart from Hermione, Ron, and of course Harry, Hagrid, Dumbledore, McGonagall, Quirrell, and Draco were the characters that had the maximum number of screen time as measured in the number of minutes they appeared on the screen. The same is repeated for each of the other movies as well. That's what we have in the data set. There is also a column called max minutes, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Now, what we're going to do is create a presentation out of this. That presentation is eventually going to create this kind of a bar chart race, but initially is just going to look like this. I'm going to download this template presentation, and to give you a quick look at what this has and how it works. So it has firstly a title, and the shape name is labeled title. The way you can select these shape names is if in the select drop down you choose selection pane, you can see these. There's another called the name of the character, and a third one which is a shaded rectangle that we call bar. So what we're going to do is copy this entire slide once for each movie and copy the name and the bar once for each character. And that's what is going to finally give us the bar chart race that has each of these movies and each of these characters represented as a bar and smoothly transition. To do this, we're going to create a set of rules, and for that, we will be creating a text file called gramex.yaml. So let's start typing in that text. I'm in fact going to initially just copy paste the contents of this here and save it as gramex.yaml. I don't think I spelled that right. It's YAML. And I'm saving it in the same folder that already has the screen time and the template. Let's go through this line by line. What it says is that I'm going to have a URL, a web page called pptxhandler/Albus Dumbledore. Actually, you can call this pretty much anything, it doesn't matter. In which we are going to render and output pptx file using pptx handler. This takes the following keyword arguments. We are going to use version 2 of the pptx handler. There used to be a version 1. And this is going to take template.pptx and the data from screentime.xlsx, it's a local file, and create something. So far, it actually doesn't do anything other than take template.pptx, take the screen time, and create the output.pptx, which will actually be exactly the same as the template. So let's run this. And the way you can run it is by typing the command slidesets in the same folder that you have all of these files. So if you look at the files that I have 3 files, gramex.yaml, which is what you see here, the data set, and the template presentation. If I run SlideSense now, then this creates a new presentation that takes template.pptx and is in fact exactly the same as template.pptx. It's done nothing more than that. What we're going to do is create a rule that copies the slide once for each movie. So we just have one slide now, and we're going to use the copy slide command that loops through every row in the data set, group by movie. So let's copy this rule. Copy it, paste it, And what it says is there's an array of rules. The first rules, copying slides by grouping the data set using the movies, but not sorting them. We don't want to sort them because we already sorted the movies in the order of appearance. And if we didn't put sort is equal to false, then it would sort the movies by, well, alphabetically, which is not what we want. We're also saying that we want to smoothly transition from one slide to another using the morph transition. The morph transition is a powerful transition that allows you to move shapes that have the same name smoothly from where they are in the previous slide to where they are in the current slide. And we want to do this with a duration of 1 second. When we do this and run slide sense, the result is, see this in 2 seconds, we have the first slide with the Sorcerer's Stone. We have nothing more actually. That's because I haven't saved the file. So let me save the file and run slide sense again. And we have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone on the first slide, exactly the same as before. But we also have a second, third, fourth, fifth, and a slide for one for each of the movies that are listed here. And we also have no change in the title. The titles are exactly the same. So let's fix that. What we do is copy the next chunk of rules, which says that any shape named title should have a text that is defined by copy.key. Now, why is this called copy.key? Well, it turns out that as we copy the slides, it creates a variable called key for each movie. So we are basically saying the movie name should be the text of the shape called title. Let's see what this creates. And now we have a set of slides, but each of these slides is now named after the movie. You'll notice that even after Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, we have another slide titled Harry Potter Series. That's because in the data set that we had downloaded, the screen time data set, the list of movies had all 8 movies. But after that, we also have a Harry Potter series, which has the numbers added up for the entire series. We'll come to that in a bit. So for now, what we've done is copied all of the slides. We've created one slide per movie. Now let's create one bar per character. The way we're going to do that is by taking the shape called name and cloning it once for each of the copied values. Now, what do we mean by copied values? Well, we are grouping by the movie name, if you remember. So when we group by the movie name, this chunk becomes the copied value. The key becomes the name of the movie, and everything other than that, this block becomes a copied value. Similarly, for the next movie, this block becomes a copied value. So by saying we want to clone the shape based on copied value, it will clone the shape called name, which is really the name text box, 5 times. We also then say add to the top 1.2 inches multiplied by the clone position. So Albus Dumbledore for the Chamber of Secrets will be at position 0. So he'll stay where he is. But Lockhart will be moved down 1.2 inches. Hagrid will be moved down 2.4 inches. Dobby will be moved down 3.6 inches and so on. Then we give the name for the shape. And the name for the shape is 2 exclamation marks followed by the character's name and followed by the string name. So the name of the shape will be Albus Dumbledore name, Gilroy Lockhart name, and so on, with 2 exclamation marks in front. Let me give you a feel for what that looks like in a few minutes. Once I run these rules, you'll see what that looks like and why we're doing it. Finally, the text, obviously, for each of these shapes must be the character name. Otherwise, the text box will just keep repeating Albus Dumbledore's name. Now let's run slide sense, see what the output looks like. It's loading. Yeah. So we have copied the name. We haven't yet copied the bar, so that's okay. And we have Rubeus Hagrid, Albus Dumbledore, Minerva McGonagall, and so on. And if I look at the selection pane, this has the shape names changed to exclamation, exclamation mark, something or the other. I said I'll talk about why this matters. Now let's put this in slideshow mode. Now you'll notice that Albus Dumbledore's name smoothly moves from one to the other. And that's because any two shapes which start with an exclamation mark and have the same name across slides will be treated as the same shape. So exclamation Albus Dumbledore name is the identifier used in every slide. So as long as the identifier is the same, PowerPoint's morph transition will move that shape to the next slide to the correct position. That's why we've named it this way. Let's do the same thing for the bars as well. I'm going to copy this. Now what we're doing here is, again, cloning the shape based on the copied value. The copied value is the list of items in each group. We again add 1.2 inches for every successive bar. So it will start from the top, then move 1.2 inches down, and so on. We give it a name so that it will morph smoothly, and the name is the character name followed by the word bar, of course with the two exclamation marks that indicate that it's an identifier. Now we set the width of the bar. The width of the bar is, let me just run this and show you, so that way you can see the output and match the output to what's happening. So the width of the bar is 5 inches times the number of minutes divided by max minutes. What do we mean by that? Well, let's take Albus Dumbledore in the Chamber of Secrets. So that's out here. So that's roughly 11 minutes. To be precise, it's 10.75 minutes. Now what we've got is a column called max minutes that indicates the maximum number of minutes a character seems to appear on the screen. So if you look at all of these episodes, the maximum is about 22 minutes, and that's Albus Dumbledore in Half-Blood Prince. So let's round that off to 20. And what we're doing here is saying that 20 minutes corresponds to 5 inches. So in that case, 10.75 minutes would correspond to how many inches? The answer is 5 times 10.75 divided by 20, because 20 minutes is 5 inches, 10.75 is proportionately scaled. And that's what gives us the width of each of these bars. The text in the bar takes the number of minutes, rounds it off to 0 decimal places. So that's why 10.75 became 11 minutes. And with the word min added after that. It was already right aligned, so it stays right aligned. Finally, we fill it with a different color because we want Albus Dumbledore to be differentiated and in a slightly different color than the others. The set of colors that you can use are, of course, you can use hex colors, you can use natural colors like red, blue, green, but you can also use these accent colors. So this, for example, is accent 1, and you can use a variable accent_1 in caps for this. This is accent 2, and that's a color that we're using for Albus Dumbledore. For the others, we are using accent 4. So this is specified by saying if the character is Albus Dumbledore, then use accent 2, else use accent 4. So that's what gives us these characters. Now let's play this as an animation. And we find that Albus Dumbledore has 10 minutes here, is number 2, but he moves up to number 1 in the Chamber of Secrets. He moves down to number 4 in Prisoner of Azkaban, moves up a couple of notches in the Goblet of Fire, moves down back to number 4 in Order of the Phoenix, is the top character in the Half-Blood Prince, completely vanishes in the Deathly Hallows, and makes a small guest appearance in part 2 of the Deathly Hallows. But if you put it all together, he is actually by far the next most popular character apart from the top 3, Harry, Hermione, and Ron, in the series. So that is the kind of output that we created. And you'll notice that this was done with the design entirely happening in PowerPoint, the data happening in, well, could be any source, but in this case, we just used Excel. And these rules were the ones that bound what shapes we had into the data set that we had. Once we had this, we then took this presentation and made the background transparent and created this video. But the slides that were used to create this video were exactly the slides that you see here.